Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Noah, and I wanted to welcome all of you to another installment of Monologue Monday here on my YouTube channel.
Monologue Monday.
In this episode of Monologue Monday, I want to share my thoughts on a concept that I have coined actor/actress fatigue and why this is ultimately detrimental to the film industry. With that being said, let's get right into this episode of Monologue Monday. So what do I mean? What do I mean when I say actor/actress fatigue? And I'm going to kind of refer to it as just actor fatigue for the sake of this video so I don't stutter. But in the last few years, I've noticed that I've seen the same people, same actors and actresses being, just basically rotated in and out of so many movies. And it's gotten to the point now where I can't take any of it seriously because I understand that everybody wants a job, but there's certain aspects, there's certain stories that cannot be told with certain actors or actresses. A perfect example that I can think of is someone like The Rock, right? Where every trailer, it almost feels like, for these action flicks or sometimes not even action flicks, they find a way to throw his name in there, right? And this is my own personal opinion. I think there's better, let me put it this way. I think there's better alternatives than just throwing The Rock in there. I think it's only a matter of time before there's a story about Gandhi and they decide to cast The Rock for the role. And this is actually pretty upsetting for me because I'm very much into film, good TV shows, and so on. I like the process of storytelling, and it's a big reason why I actually got into YouTube in the first place. I wanted to see how cameras work, what it's like to be on the other side of a camera, what it's like to talk into a camera and edit it and put it together, add effects, and so on. So I'm very much into it. So this is something that just has been irritating me in the last, I don't know how many years, and I think it's detrimental in two fronts, right? And the first one, like I said, is this kind of annoyance where we're seeing the same people in everything, right? In so many different roles. And I am a firm believer that there is one perfect role for every actor and actress. And a good example that I can give you is Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicklaus, the guy that played Jack. Well, he played himself, I guess, in The Shining. And I've seen a lot of other movies that he's been in, and he's a great, unbelievably talented actor. But for me, the most fitting role for him, the role that I think he did the best in was the movie The Shining. And like I said, I've seen his other films, and he's a rare example where he could pull off multiple roles, but I don't think this same concept applies to a lot of actors and actresses. I'm sorry to say it. I think there are very limited roles that they do very, very well in. But if we start throwing them into every single opportunity that we get, or these production companies get, it takes away from the story, right? Because we recognize them from somewhere else and we can't get involved with the new story, right? Like the example that I gave before, if we put The Rock as Gandhi, I mean, physically that doesn't work, but we're going to be thinking of him from the Fast and the Furious movies, all 16 of them, and it's going to take away from the story that is trying to be told about Gandhi. I know that's kind of a weird example, but it's one that I just thought of. And so I think that's a main point on how it is actually detrimental to storytelling, is that it takes the viewers out of the experience, and then oftentimes the actor or actress isn't even really fit for the specific role. There's no one that's going to play you better in life than you yourself. And I think a lot of these production companies just tend to throw a big name at it because that's going to get people, that they think that's going to get people in their seats, and I just don't think that that's the case. And I think it's bad for storytelling in general. The other reason why I think this is a problem, is that it's taking away opportunities from other people, right? And this is frustrating because there might be a better alternative, right? An actor, for example, that has never really gotten their big break, right? Their big check, that is far better suited to play Gandhi, right? He's been working his whole life. He's meant for the role, and they still put the fucking rock in it for some reason, right? I don't, and I've seen this happen in other films, and personally, it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't, like I said, it takes you out of the experience, but it's not giving other individuals an opportunity to make some money, right? To make something of their career. And who knows, these individuals might have better habits with their money than the people that have amassed, hundreds of millions of dollars from film. These all-star names, these individuals that haven't had a break yet might do better things with their money, right? They might contribute more to their communities, to charities, right? To people that actually need it, than just continuing to buy cars and boats and vacation houses and vacations and jets and so on. And for someone who is into finance like myself, I don't like to see that, right? I want other people to have opportunities to get that check that they deserve. And if it's compounded with a shitty story in the making, and on top of that, them not getting that role, I think it's equally as frustrating. I do want to mention that the takeaway, I think, from this video here is that ultimately the viewers, right, you, myself and you, have the power to kind of dictate how successful these movies are. And because ultimately we're the ones paying to get into the seats, we're the ones renting them on Amazon or whatever it is. And I don't think that I don't think a lot of people realize this, that you deciding not to go to a movie because you think it's the same people, it's the same story, says a lot, right? Now, if we do this, if there's a large group of individuals who are on this same in the same mindset of wanting to see new people, on the screen, better fit for a certain story, you just shouldn't go to the theater, right? Almost kind of like a silent protest. But ultimately, the individuals, the people doing the analytics for these production companies might catch on eventually and say, you know what, we're not doing so well by putting big name actors and actresses into these films. Maybe we should try something different. And I think that's where the power of the people kind of comes in, because we do have the power to change things, right? But it's often at the cost of holding back a little bit, right? And not caving to just go to a movie just to go to one. You need to have a little bit more self-control to say, you know what, I'm curious about the film, but it's all the same people. It's, I watched the trailer, I'm not a fan of it, I'm just not going to go to it. And that's just how it needs to be, right? I've been doing this practicing exactly what I just mentioned for some time now. And, obviously it's not enough, because I'm still seeing the same trends of the same people over and over again in roles that are better suited for other people. And, that's no slight against actors or actresses. It's just the way it is, right? There's very few actors and actresses that can really take on multiple roles. Like I said, Jack Nicklaus is a rare example where he fit well in multiple roles, but he just embodied the character that was being told. DiCaprio, right? Leo, he's kind of in the same boat where he can embody multiple roles, and you kind of forget about what they've done in the past and get invested into that story. But that's only two actors out of how many that are being shuffled around. So it's a really rare thing, and I think these production companies need to start focusing more on the story at hand, rather than just trying to get a big name in the movie to get seats taken up in the theater. But there you go. That is my short rant on this concept that I've coined actor/actress fatigue. And I haven't really heard too much about it, on other channels and so on. I don't know if it's something that people don't just just don't like to talk about, or if it's something that maybe people haven't really thought about. But of course, I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. Do you think my points here, my opinions, have any merit, or do you think I'm just being unreasonable? Please let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. As always, if you've stuck along this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for your time today. And as always, happy financing.